Turkey for me, turkey for you. I like to eat turkey out my big brown shoe. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 102 of the DadBodd podcast. And joining me, as always, my friend, my brother in arms, the gun in the lockbets.net. What's going on? How are you doing? And happy Thanksgiving to you, my friend.
Dude, guys, welcome. Guns, great to see you. I mean, it's always exciting to catch up, see how Uncle Guns has been up to. How's he doing? I mean, Guns, you are crushing it with the content. I can't keep up. Maybe I'm at a different point in my life. I feel like I'm becoming that young dad generation soon.
Sure.
Hopefully not. Knock on wood. But you are crushing your shows. I've been tuning in. How's your week been? Happy Thanksgiving, brother.
Oh, it's great now. Very busy week. Finally got to crack a beverage today. I actually got a few going on right now. Got the Viva shipment coming in, so you guys will be getting the boys will be getting those soon. It's been a rocky up and down roller coaster as far as the picks have gone. I broke even on basically everything this past weekend, so hopefully we can change that and spin that into a positive direction. We did do well. I hit Ball State last night in the MAC play of the week. And I think I got another MAC play that I'm going to probably talk about on Friday with the Shark. I haven't done a write-up on it yet. But, man, this is what we're here for. We're here to talk plays. We're here to talk picks. And we have a few of them for you. A stat card here. Lots of NFL games. We have 3 tomorrow. We also have the Egg Bowl, Mississippi State and Mississippi. And then it's feast week too with college basketball. It's been absolutely insane.
I forgot how much I missed watching college athletes play in a rec center in Maui, or these. I was watching Liberty last night. What was it? Liberty Northwestern.
Yeah,
and you could have told me that was the Bloomfield Rec Center or the YMCA club, Bloomfield, New Jersey, and I would have believed you. Something special about seeing these athletes out there. You know, the rims are fucking horrible. The gym's got 500 fans in it. Something about it just tickles my fancy. I don't know about you. Does that tickle your fancy?
I do enjoy like watching, like, you remember they had the Battle of Atlantis, and you see like the weird like elevated floor, and they got the lighting just in this weird unique way that kind of give it this underneath the sea type feel, which I really like. But yeah, Maui is always an interesting one because they're basically playing in a high school gym.
Yeah.
And I think it's unique to see all these like star athletes, these top college, that used to be playing in arenas. And then you just see the bleachers pulled out like old school, like you're playing in small town America. It's always like real interesting to watch.
And can we address last night's Maction game? So I took your play. I didn't have any NFL, didn't have any college football cooking last night. So I took the allocated number of units you suggested, normal wager. I think I put $100 on the spread, which was +2, was it? Or 1.5, 2?
It was +2.5.
Yeah, so 2.5. Feeling great the whole time. But I also, you know me, I'm a little sprinkler. I saw the 2.5, and then I saw the +140 staring at me. Me being the bozo that I am, put like $40 on the money line.
Mm-hmm.
That was an absolute shit effort by Ball State finishing the game. Doesn't matter, obviously. I mean, the bet was perfection. It was never was losing. But I can't believe they gave that game away.
Both teams kind of stood in there motivated to make a bowl too. Miami, Ohio is, historically kind of own that division. I know Ball State is kind of like the newly crowned MAC darling there, but they've had a kind of a rough season this year. I think it's going to come down to like Toledo and Ohio. Ohio is just smoking right now. I almost made a pick on Ohio too,
right?
And I held off because I was just nervous about that one. We did get the cover, But yes, you're right. I actually did sprinkle on the money line personally myself too, and got bit.
Just a sprink,
Nothing spectacular, right?
Anyways, sorry, not to call out the Maction game of the year because hey, it won, but I was just surprised. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. I will say I have a pumpkin pie cheesecake behind me. One of my favorite desserts. I had it recently for the first time, and I didn't realize that we could combine the best of both worlds, cheesecake and pumpkin pie into one. Have you ever had it? And if not, what's your favorite dessert?
I'm going to go just from a Thanksgiving perspective. I always go pumpkin pie. That's the go-to. You get like a chocolate cream pie, you get a pumpkin pie, and you get maybe an apple pie or something like that. And you take off a slice of every single one. You throw a little ice cream on one, throw some whipped cream on the pumpkin pie. And you're living in Dream Street, folks.
Maybe a little Irish coffee in there. Who knows?
Oh, with the Irish coffee, I think is always like you have that like watching the Detroit game. I always think that's Irish coffee time. And then maybe even the late game, like having that one's kind of fun as well. But
who does now? What do we have Thanksgiving? Or we'll get to that actually. But I'm excited for watching some football tomorrow.
But yeah, if you want to bring in your sides, call this channel. No,
yes. We're taking callers for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, if you want to bring up any, what's your favorite dish? What's your favorite side during Thanksgiving? Please put it in the chat.
Yes.
But we're here to talk about
what's your favorite side? Come on, for the boys, get in there, get on the chat. Tell me that you like the grocery store stuffing that your mother's always made. Tell me that your mother makes a better stuff than my mother. All right.
Yeah. How about a green bean casserole? Is anyone?
I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for a green bean casserole. And you know what's funny? My girlfriend's making one right now.
I'm going to be making one. I'm going to be making one on very easy to make. Yeah. Very simple, but very tasty as well. But we're here to bring you some winners. We got some picks for you. But let's just start with the NFL. Let's start with the Thursday slate. We only want to bring winners, right? And no losers. That's not how we live here on DadBods. But let's start with the first game that's up on the slate. We're talking 12:30, CBS. The Bills basically playing I don't know if we can call it a home game anymore, but they did have a home game last week in Detroit. So they're already kind of used to the lay of the land over there in what is it? What are we at here? I can't even think of the name of the stadium.
Ford Field?
God, I don't know why I caught a blank there.
It's still Ford Field, right?
Yeah. Oh, it is Ford Field, yes. And then you have the Lions that are coming off a non-divisional road win, which is kind of unique to them, against the New York Giants, smoking them. I'll start with you. Do you have any thoughts on this game at all? What do you think about this from a betting perspective, Locke?
Well, I think it's very interesting that the spread hasn't moved an inch all week, right? It started at 9.5. It's now 9.5. I think what Vegas is trying to tell you is we're not going to give you 10, but we're not going to give you anything less than 9.5, right?
Right.
I think this is a spot where you smash the Bills. I'm not looking into the Thanksgiving hoopla of the Lions. Also, the Lions are coming off a three-game winning streak, is it?
Yes.
So they're the hottest team, known to man right now. I mean, they're playing on Thanksgiving. How could they lose? Well, I have Josh Allen 1 week healthier. Last week, they were a boat. And like you said, they've stayed in Detroit all week. They've practiced there. They've been there all week. I don't see any road bias here. And I do think the 9.5 is a strong number. They're scared to get it to 10, 10.5, 11, because if they get it to 10.5 and 11, they're going to tell all the fish out there that the Bills are 1,000% winning by 27. If they keep it at 9.5, they try to bait all the fish out there to be like, that's a pretty strong line for the Lions. Maybe just holding steady. I think we got a little bit of a fuckery game here. I got the Bills by a mile, but in particular, let's just take the first half. Let's get it out of the way. 9.5 is a full game. I believe we can get -5.5 first half. Let me see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, -5.5 first half. Put that in there. Start the turkey. And let's get fucking cooking, baby. Because, Bills first half. That is my locker-rooney. Guns, what do you have to say regarding that?
Listen, I couldn't agree more with you here. I think this line screams Buffalo blowout. And Buffalo has really kind of played flat lately. I mean, you've seen their last 2 or 3 games or so. Yeah. Even since their loss to the Jets. Granted, Josh Allen dealing with an elbow injury that he's playing through, and that's kind of shown in his statistics in the passing game too. They've really had a drop off there, but they've picked it up in the run game. But you have Detroit kind of playing on a little bit of a heater, probably too hot for their standards. You actually look at their net yardage; they're losing the net yardage battle in these games. I was like, they beat the piss out of the Giants, but they were -88 net yards for the game. The difference of the game was a +3 turnover ratio versus the Giants. Buffalo, really good defense on the road. This defense travels well. They only allow 290 yards of total offense to their opponents, and they have a +110 net yard average on the road, which is much better than they play at home. Want to say shout out to Sam in the chat saying, "What up, bro?" And then exactly saying, "Winning my bets. Let's go." Here we go. So now go Sam. All right. Now you got to look at Detroit. At home, they struggle stopping anybody. They do travel well on the road and they play good defense, which you saw last week. But when they play at home, their defense stinks. They give up 454 yards of total offense to their opponents, 5 yards per carry rushing, and 304 yards passing per game. So this could kind of help a very maybe a Buffalo offense that kind of needs that jump start. It's like you play a bad defense and just really cruise here. And then when you look at them when they play against non-divisional opponents, they give up 427 yards per game. So they're kind of already hitting their home average there. Also, the over in this one is 20-8 in the last 28 Lions home games, and Bills are 6-1-1 against the spread versus teams under 500. So, with all that being said, I now have today, as it stands on November 23rd. I actually have full range of books in Maryland. So it is wide open, and I did my line shopping today. And
aside from DraftKings and Barstool, or did you do it, you dog?
No. I haven't done it yet. So basically, I've only looked at MGM, I've looked at FanDuel, and I've looked at my previous books as well, which will remain unnamed. I did find -9 with -110. So I took that one for Buffalo. So I got Buffalo -9, and then I got the over 54. Nice. 2 plays on that one.
Now, we should disclose which book. I mean, we should tell the people where to get a good line. I know
that actually I found that line on Bookmaker.
Okay.
So
okay. Well, that I will.
I don't want to interrupt you, but we have another dad that is sitting in the queue. I want to get him in here. The odds fellow is going to join us right now. What's going on, buddy? How you doing? How you been? Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving Eve. I got the transfusion in a can here until the Vivas arrive, and then I'll be switching exclusively to the Vivas.
I will mail those Friday. That's my goal.
So. If he doesn't mail them Friday, then it's a safe bet.
Then I'm driving south is what's happening.
That's correct.
That's right.
Just make sure you send me your addresses again, because I don't think I have them on record.
Yeah.
So Oddsfell, we were just talking NFL. Just want to catch you up. We're talking about the Buffalo Detroit game, 12:30. We already gave our takes on that one. Lockbet says first half Buffalo. I say Buffalo -9 and over 54. Do you have any thoughts on this one?
I like the over. I lean the over. I think Detroit can be a little feisty. You figure at some point here, Buffalo is going to get going and clicking on all cylinders. So tough not to back them and get in front of it. But it's a weird slot, right? It's that early slot on Thanksgiving, maybe a little sluggish. But overall, I think, defensively, I think Detroit's going to give up points. So if they can get going or maybe backdoor it late, I like the over.
Historically, too, if you actually, this is just off my memory. There's no stats that are backing this right now. I always do. The rule of thumb is you fade the Lions at 12:30.
That is a rule.
Right. And then you usually play Dallas at the 4:30 slot. I guess it depends on if it's a divisional matchup.
I just saw a wild stat with them though. 1-10 against the spread in the last 11 Thanksgiving.
Who is that?
Who's that? Detroit?
Cowboys.
Cowboys are 1-10.
I was gonna say plus 10 is a little bizarre. 10's a lot
for a division game. Yeah.
It's egregious.
Is that just the Thanksgiving national, national demographic, the popularity contest? 10?
It's unreal. That's a great stat, though. That's good to bring up. Now,
I think G just posted that, so I don't know if it was an Action Network stat and he retweeted it, but I just saw it on the Twitter feed.
That's interesting. That maybe I have to rethink if I've ever. I probably always lost the afternoon bet. All right, now I guess that's a good transition too. So let's talk. So you heard my picks on this one. Official from the lock. Buffalo first half. Official from me, Buffalo -9 game and over 54. And it seems like the odds fellow does lean the over in that slot. So moving on to the
I want to keep the odds fellows frame there for now, or do you want to keep him in the waiting room just in case he comes back?
Yeah.
Oh, he's back, baby.
Yeah. I usually
I'm doing some dadding in the background. So
I know. By the way, shout out to all the dads out there. Thanksgiving, the holidays gets a little hectic. But this guy's fucking he's the definition of a balanced man. Continue your fight.
Okay, so let's talk about the 4:30 slot, the late afternoon from our perspective, at least, depending on what time zone you're living in. New York Giants are going to Dallas. I guess would be considered a revenge game. They did lose in week 3 to them, 16-23 on Monday Night Football. Now you get them on Thursday Night Football, or not Thursday night, I would say Thursday afternoon, Thanksgiving style. Lock bets, I'll start with you. Do you have any thoughts, leans, or considerations on this game?
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think the public and Vegas right now are reacting to last week. Dallas obviously obliterated the Vikings, right?
Correct.
One thing to keep in mind, the Vikings were absolutely due for a shellacking, which they got. They were absolutely due for that. So Dallas did what they were supposed to do that week.
Correct.
And in a lot of ways, the Giants have been playing on company time. They've been playing on free money for a while. So they got a little bit of a shellacking last week. So I don't see that Dallas is coming into this game hot. I don't see that the Giants are coming into this cold. So I think that's what Vegas is trying to tell you with that 10 number. I mean, that 10 number is absolutely disrespectful. Okay. And this is a game where I don't have to dig that deep. I'm going to take the 10 and I'm going to watch the game as a fan and know that this game's going to land between a touchdown, 4 points, 3 points, or even an outright loser for the Cowboys. So this is Jerry Jones's worst nightmare coming into this game as a 10-point favorite. This has every writings of fuckery. I'm not buying into this 10-point spread, so I'm going to take Giants plus 10 for sure.
I'll pass to the odds fellow now. Now, odds fellow brought up a good stat. Dallas 1-10 against the spread on Thanksgiving days in the last 11. And they're playing a divisional opponent that they beat in week 3. Odds fellow. Any takes on this
divisional opponent
with your boys
that they have owned over the years?
That's correct. That's correct.
I've been to many of the games. I've been lucky. I didn't go this year because it was Monday Night Football, and it would have taken me 3 hours to get home on a Monday night. Mm-hmm. No, I think it's a tough one here. I lean a little bit towards the under, which would probably be how I get down on it. Or maybe Dallas early. I could see the back door hanging 9.5, 10 is tough. It could be a weird field goal. or a late touchdown that gets the Giants back into it, even if Dallas is in command for most of the game. But defensively, I think you're going to see similar to the first matchup. The Giants are going to try to slow things down and keep it out of Dak and the Dallas offense, out of their hands. And Dallas is going to be able to get pressure. So that's hopefully means, a lot of pressure, negative plays, sacks, maybe a heavier rushing attack from the Giants. So that should slow things down a little bit. And whenever you get into these divisional games and a disciplined team that I think the Giants are running over there, it gets a little messy, right? It gets a little mucked up. So that's where I would lean under and probably the points. Don't know if I'm going to be on either just yet, but I'll definitely get those out tonight or tomorrow.
I think your lean on the under is basically the direction I'm going. The line is so bad. Like usually in spots where you have two teams going against each other in a revenge spot in a divisional game, you kind of want to just take
5.5, 6.5, 6, 5.5, 6.5.
What are you looking at?
10?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, you would think
if you would have told me that this line was 6, I would have been like, yeah, that makes sense.
You would, yeah, correct. If you would think that the way those two teams performed last week, if it was a Giants take, and I'm just saying this out loud, you would think that line would be under 7, 6.5. So like Locke just said. So my take is more towards the total. And I see 3 people watching us live right now. Please put your favorite Thanksgiving side in there so we can put them up in the chat. We'll be talking about Thanksgiving food here in a minute, but we're going to get into picks. So we already know where Dallas is from last week. We know where the Giants are from last week. Dallas versus divisional opponents only has a +5 point differential, +28 net yards. And you look at the Giants, -7 point differential, -55 net yards. So really you have a Dallas team that's just better than the Giants, period. The fact that they're sitting at 7-3 right now is kind of remarkable from that point. Also the Giants, Dallas just owns them. 2-9 against the spread versus Dallas dating back to 2017. The key to this matchup right now, I'm looking at the offensive line versus the defensive line. So you have the New York Giants offensive line. They give up a 10.6% sack rate versus their opponents. And you have Dallas, who is the best pass rushing team on and you saw it last week. It's like they basically harassed Cousins. They have a 13.5% sack rate, which leads the league. The under in this is 6-1 in the last 7 home games with Dallas. The under is also 4-1 hitting in New York Giants road games. Both teams averaged 39 points as a total in the games that they play versus divisional opponents. And you have this total sitting at, I think it's at 45.5 right now. If you shop around in the books, which I can do now because I live in Maryland. I'm taking the under as my play on this one, 45.5. I think this is a good spot. And also a key point here, you have a double-digit favorite, and the total is sitting at 45.5. That seems low. To me, that kind of screams possibly. 2 coin flips. It's either going to be a low-scoring close game, or it's going to be Dallas scoring a lot and the Giants not doing a damn thing. So that's why I kind of don't want to take the side. I'd rather play with the under on this one, 45.5.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what you talked about with the offensive defensive line thing is exactly what you saw in the first matchup here. They hassled them. And then they did the same thing against Washington, I think a week later, a week before. It was like 2 division matchups in a row, and those guys couldn't protect the quarterback,
The problem is, too, I believe Cowboys are number 1 in the league in blitzes. They're the most heavily blitzed team. So that could be problematic for Daniel Jones. Now, Bones Jones.
That was Daniel against the blitz.
Yeah. I don't have that stat. I'm only good for, the one stat. But I will say Daniel Jones is 3rd in the league in rushing, which is surprising to most. I mean,
for a QB, you mean?
Yeah, for a QB. Yeah. Obviously behind Lamar. I don't know who's number 2, but anyways, Andrew Thomas has not given up a sack yet this year, but I bet you your top dollar that Micah Parsons is going to be going for blood for Bones. But like I said, the 10. Come on, I can't get behind that. I can't tell you to get behind that. So maybe I'm wrong.
Okay.
But wait, we're on a run. All right. So I already got. Listen, I took the heavy favorite with the Bills. I took the heavy underdog with the Giants. What's next? Let's go.
All right. So I think we have. I mean, we did take Dallas last week, and me and Oddsfellow on the Sunday Circa Million show, and that one hit so easy. So hard for me to take them in the next week after a big win like that.
Can you actually tell me why you guys called the Circa Million show? Is somebody in the contest?
Oddsfellow and Shark.
I went out to Vegas. I'm going to try to make this an annual thing, and next year I think I might have to do more than one entry. But what an experience!
Can we get in it?
Yeah, I mean,
I want in.
So I didn't want to do.
You wanted
but
to.
it's not so hard. It's good and bad. I
You
think
want.
what I would love to do is put in a couple entries and have a couple partners. It's hard balancing it. We have a bigger group than probably we needed, and it's a lot of opinions. It's hard to get people together.
How
But you
much
have
is
one
it
or
to
two
join?
partners. Oh God, I think so because we're not Vegas. Las Vegas,
Do you
Nevada.
have a proxy though?
residents.
Do you have a proxy?
You need the proxy. So I think with the registration plus like the proxy fee, you're around $1,300. It's not terrible.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'd do
you know.
that all day.
And
do that all
and
day.
it's great. I mean, I've heard so many things about the contest, but really cool. Quarterly prizes, some weird ones. Like if you come in last, you get paid out a little bit.
Hey,
then
fun fact on
grand
that
prize.
one. Do you know who won the first quarterly prize?
Well,
Our friend,
I know they
Adam
registered
Trigger.
it, but it wasn't actually the boys, right? It was CT
Yeah.
and Trig.
Yeah, and they had another partner too in there, but that was quite a
We're all
remarkable
using the same
feat.
proxy service. It's Kelly in Vegas's proxy service company that she set up. So a couple of relationships she has that help run it. I met some of them, and it's been awesome.
Hey, I got to call out a good side here, Bob in the chat.
Okay, Bob.
Green apple and hot sausage dressing, spice compliments, Thanksgiving food. That dude's got to be Southern, right? That is so.
Bob the Candy
That
Man.
sounds delicious as hell.
His nickname,
Damn, I'm
the
getting
Candy
hungry.
Man. Let's
The
fucking
Candy
go,
Man
Bob.
is in the building. All right, so let's go to the evening game. Let's talk some Patriots because these are my boys. We just talked about Oddsfellows boys. They're playing a Minnesota team coming off one of the worst losses, actually the worst performances they've had all season. Just absolutely getting crushed. They're playing the evening game, probably on the NFL Network. If you're awake after all that turkey and stuffing and all the bevies you're going to have in the first two games, well, this is the game for you. Might be a very competitive game. I'll pass to Oddsfellow. Let's mix this up a little bit. Let's go with him. What are your thoughts on the evening game in the NFL Thursday night?
So I think if it wasn't for that massacre at the hands of the Cowboys, I'd probably lean the Pats to figure it out here and keep the train rolling a little bit, maybe build a little bit of momentum. But they're so bad offensively that I just think they're going to have trouble against this Minnesota team, especially in a bounce back spot for this Minnesota team. So for me, I lean Minnesota on the short line. Home game, right? Minnesota's at home again?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
playing
So,
at home.
I mean, I like that there too. I think, whether it's the elements, does the New England defense and Belichick is able to muck it up a little bit more in the cold up in Foxborough and the home field advantage. And I just don't think at the end of the day, Mac Jones has done nothing this year that impresses me. So I think you're getting a shorter line than you probably normally would. At 3.5 or 4 might be where this thing hung if it wasn't for that game and the recency bias of what just happened. So I just think Minnesota's better top to bottom. I do have to go a little bit deeper on the Minnesota defense and just how they'll perform maybe. But again, you're not talking about a New England offense that worries me too much. So I lean Minnesota. That's probably where I'll end up.
All right. Blockheads, what do you think?
Sorry, I had the later 6:30 NCAA basketball games approaching, and they hadn't started yet, so I had to get a few wagers in.
I love it. I'm looking. I'm like, I probably missed probably 3 games. I look at the slate. I say I probably like 4 or 5 games. I'm not going to bet him yet, but I'll do it later. And I'm like, oh shit, I missed 2.
So I just took UC Riverside, and then I just took Coastal Carolina first half +8.
Awesome.
Your guns. I didn't look at your card. Are we?
I haven't put anything college basketball after last night. I felt like I was like, maybe I should take a day off.
Well,
No.
guys, whoever's watching it, this is a official, unofficial segment, unless Guns has it. He's going to cue up.
I know I'm queuing it up right now. Here we go.
Coming to you live from the DadBodd Studios. This is a DadBodd exclusive.
What's
DadBodd
going on, mother?
Reporting from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Lock bets. You have something for us.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Guns. Thanks, Ant. Reporting live from Philadelphia, I'm here to report that there is a team out there that is a live wager. It is UC Riverside versus Abilene Christian. I actually took the alternate line at -3.5 at +105. You can get them at -1.5 for -120. Or if you want to be like me, an absolute degenerate, you take -3.5 +105, get the plus money. And then also there's a huge swing in where the money and the bets are going. Coastal Carolina is getting about 72% of the money. The bets are at like 40, got a nice 40% little cushion there. I love Coastal Carolina. On the road, +8 first half. And that's the exclusive. Let's go back to you, Guns.
Oh, well, back to me. All right. So, lock bets with a great exclusive there. But we're talking about the Minnesota New England Patriots, 8:30 p.m. NFL Network. Lock bets. Yeah. Your thoughts?
Well, I declared early on in the year that the Vikings were my favorite team, not only in that division, but probably in the NFL. So, like I said, last week they were due for a nice little shellacking. Everybody's due, all right? Sometimes the Patriots, when they went 17-0, and then they went to the Super Bowl, they were due for a shellacking, and it just so happened to be the Super Bowl, right? Sometimes it's good to lose a game, and I think the fact that the Vikings lost last week turned it into a positive. Kirk Cousins is not going anywhere. He's still playing strong. Dalvin Cook is still playing like an animal. I still love the Vikings, and I think something's going on with the Vegas machine over there, because if I'm not certain, the Patriots put up 0 offensive points. There's been a huge hoopla on Zach Wilson, huge hoopla on the Jets. Well, guess what? Mac Jones, Bill Belichick, your boy Matt Patricia put up a goose egg versus the Jets. So what are you going to do versus the Vikings? You're going to get shellacking, all right? This line is stupid. I love the Vikings at home.
Zach Wilson, terrible quarterback.
Well, it's the Mike White show now.
Mike White. I go. Is Flacco available? I don't know why they don't stick with Flacco.
It's the Mike White show.
Backup.
Yeah. Well, I have a different take on this one, and people are gonna say that it's a fan-based pick. I'm gonna back it up with statistics. I want to make sure I get this argument right. Let's talk about Minnesota here. I know what happened to them against Dallas. We predicted it. We gave the pick, and it was one of my top plays of the week last week. Congrats to me. Congrats to Oddfellows as well as a Dallas fan. So Minnesota at home. Let's just look at them just strictly by the stats, by the box score. -1 point differential at home, -19 net yards. This is a team that just is their record doesn't tell the whole story. They're just due for regression. And what you saw last week is just the start, in my opinion, of the regression of the Minnesota Vikings. New England on the road, +3 point differential, -21 net yards. Most of the -21 net yards is basically the fact that their offense stinks. But let's look at Minnesota and how bad their defense is. Horrific pass defense. I talked about it last week. They give up 267 yards per game, 69% pass completion rate to their opponents. Okay? But you look at New England's offense. While they're bad, 262 yards per game of total offense the last 4 games, 171 yards per game passing. Key point on this one, 70% completion rate from Mr. Mac Jones. He doesn't make mistakes. So I know they really don't let him to stretch out and make those big plays past the marker. They're doing a little bit of dink and dunk, so that is kind of predicated on their yards per attempt, which is very low. But they can run the ball, and they are able to move the ball past the 50. But that's when they start getting sacked and they start getting out of field goal range. But what keeps them in the games? The pass defense. This pass defense is very identical to Dallas. And it's almost like they get back-to-back defenses that are going to kill this Minnesota team. They give up 303 yards per game, 188 yards passing, which is basically kind of identical to what Dallas is. 11.1% sack rate. All right. It's not quite Dallas. Dallas is at a 13.5, but it's still a good pass rush. It's just very similar to what they faced last week. Unless they are able to kind of scout that out and handle that in that short week, which I doubt they will. You're going to see Minnesota have the same problems they did last week in this game. So also New England, good road team. 3-1-1 against the spread on the road this season, and they've covered 6 out of the last 7 games, and you got them as a dog here. I know what happened last week. They did win on a fluke punt return. The offense was flat as flat. I'm sure Bill Belichick in that short window will try to figure out how to get some productivity into the New England offense, which is facing one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL right now. So I'm liking the New England Patriots. I actually got a +3 at -110. I don't know how the hell that happened. And I also sprinkled on the money line +130.
Well, I tell you what, that's good for you, Guns. I'm very happy for you.
Stats don't lie. Ball don't lie, as they say.
Okay, so now let me ask you a question. Do those stats factor in the goose egg that you guys gave the Jets last week to a quarterback that has been benched and probably won't play another NFL game as a starter? Do those stats include that? Okay.
Who won the game?
No. I'm asking you, do those
We covered.
Do those stats include that? Because if they do, then that outlier is going to give you, some great statistical analysis. We know that Zach Wilson threw for 45 yards. We know that Zach Wilson
103 yards of total offense in that game, by the way.
I believe he had -2 or +2 yards in the second half. I know. But you know that he's been benched and he's probably never going to play in the NFL again. So I'm just saying you're on your high horse.
So much time for MILFs. Much time.
I want to tell you that Kirk Cousins, Captain Kirk, is not Zach Wilson. So, hey, we'll see. You heard it here first. Guns is on the Pats.
If you've ever watched TikTok, there's probably 13 quarterbacks in the league right now that are a version of Kirk Cousins. So that's a funny one to say.
What's next? Are we done?
All right. So no. Let's go into some picks. So we gave you the Thursday picks here. Let's go. I mean, if we want to,
I have a 7 p.m. NBA one. If you want to do that quickly,
let's bring up some picks that we can give either tonight, Friday,
I actually
Saturday.
have to hop off. I'm gonna hop off.
You're gonna hop off because you don't have any other picks?
Well, I gave you.
Are you mad?
No. I actually have to make cheeseburger sliders for a Friendsgiving.
Okay.
But you know what? I'm gonna get some picks queued up. Let's let the odds fellow go. I'll do my picks and then I'm gonna hop off and then you guys
okay. That's what I want. We're probably 2 minutes.
You're doing so good. You're doing so good.
I want to give people a couple college plays. Let's start with odds fellow here. You got an NBA pick for us?
Yeah, quick one. So we got 10 minutes. Get it now. You probably get till 7:10. Depending on the book, it'll let you go a little bit longer. But I like the
it pays
over.
To watch us live. That's all.
That's right. Live matters. We'll retweet. We'll share a little bit, but you get one here. So this is a half unit play that we gave out in the DadBodd's Slack channel earlier. Over 237.5. A nice little high Thanksgiving treat of a total. They will be feasting in Indiana between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Indiana Pacers. You have two teams that come in, right around the top 5 in pace, very high in terms of field goal percentages. Not great defensively. They haven't been able to figure it out spacing wise. Indiana is a team that likes to shoot threes, make threes, and keep it going. You got a short line here. Indiana +2. I saw it as low as +1 for a little while. Now a little late steam towards the Timberwolves, who are a much better team, obviously, but Indiana's rolling. They've won well. They're overperforming. a young core that really cares. And like I said, these guys want to push. They want to shoot threes. Hopefully that speeds the whole game up and they play no defense and we go over 237.5. If you didn't get it right away to the show, you might be able to get a live line dip. Again, I'm only doing mostly half unit on totals because they can be very sharp or volatile in the NBA. So 237.5, Minnesota Timberwolves, Indiana Pacers going over.
Beautiful.
I fucking love that. I love that.
I don't like it.
Look at my hat. Look at my hat.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
Okay.
Because the odds fellow is the NBA guru.
If you're having a bad day out there, just fucking listen, all right? Get some wagers in. All right? Keep betting, baby.
Lock bets, fire a play, and I'll give you a good one.
No, you're up first.
You want me to go? All right. I like this play because it splits what this team does well. Okay. UAB is playing for bowl eligibility in their last week of the season, which is kind of like what is going on with this team. They've just had a bad year. Most of it predicated on their road record. They're playing Saturday, 3:30 p.m. So look at this first half as the play. And let me tell you why. UAB is coming off a 31-point loss to LSU, kind of just completely outmatched by this team, minus 306 net yards, completely dominated because LSU stopped the run. They're playing a La Tech team that's coming off back-to-back road losses, nothing to play for in this game because they only have 3 wins. They got beat by Charlotte, of all teams. Charlotte is one of the worst college football teams on the planet, 26-21, minus 64 net yards in that game. So when I'm taking this first half, I know what UAB is on the road. They're an 0-5 straight up. They step on their dicks, but they only step on it in the second half. You actually look at their first half splits versus conference opponents. Liberty, they were tied at the half. Rice, they led by 7. They led 17-7. Western Kentucky, they led 17-10. FAU, they led 14-10. So what you get out of that is they covered 3 out of the last 3 out of 4 conference road games in the first half. Granted, they did lose straight up in those games, but they did cover in the first half. Also, UAB, great run team, 5.6 yards per carry on the ground, 229 yards per game. La Tech is awful against the run. They give up 228 yards per game, and their opponents averaged 5.8 yards per carry versus them. So this is a UAB that's going to gash this team on the ground. Plus, like I said, UAB is playing for a bowl bid. You may think that this is a down season. This is a coach that's going to want to get into a bowl and to keep his job. It is very important for these teams, especially the G5 teams, to get into bowls and play bowls to motivate for recruiting into the next year. So I think this is a perfect spot. The line is huge. I think it's minus 17.5. But I got UAB minus 10 in the first half. I think they go and dust them early, and then they probably do what they do in the second half and just let the foot off the gas pedal. So give me UAB minus 10 first half, 1.5 unit special. So there you go. Lock bets, anything.
I love it. I love it.
Weekend.
So I actually have a lovely. I have 2 plays, but they really turn into 4 real quick. So I'm going to give my 2 official plays, 2 separate leagues. NCAA basketball is cooking now. We're finally in the swing of things. I have one play that I think it really sticks out. San Diego State versus Arkansas tonight at 10 p.m. or so. Arkansas this year has been up and down. Their offense has been nothing to write home about. They've lost a ton of talent from last year. San Diego State, they've been doing their entire jobs. They've been crushing people, doing a great job in that light. I think San Diego State tonight, minus 1.5, comes in and knocks the front door, the back door, and the side doors off the house on Arkansas. I think Arkansas, people still think this is the Arkansas from last year. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. San Diego State brings the Hogs down to planet Earth tonight by 10 to 15. The spread's 1.5. All right. So you take that info with how you will. With that being said, the over-under at 144.5 is quite high for a game, in my opinion, that is going to be one-sided. So I like the under. I like San Diego State tonight, absolutely all the way. I'll keep it brief. Second play of the day, I'm going against my favorite NFL team that I've been betting on all year. I've been betting the Titans all year. I've made a ton of money on the Titans all year. I even told Oddsfellow. Oddsfellow had an official play on Thursday. And what did I say? I said, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to stay away because, in my opinion, the Titans have made the most money out of any team in the universe. Well, guess what? It's time to get back to planet Earth. Joe Burrow coming to town. Short line after the word of the day, a shellacking. The offense is cooking. The defense is actually playing pretty damn well. I think this line is very indicative of a Joe B 6-4 team going to the Titans 7-3 and evening the fucking ante. I love the Bengals this week, and I think the over-under is very indicative of two very strong defenses. So I'm going to let the odds fellow decide that over-under, but these two defenses are no joke. But Bengals official.
Second half under before I even see the line. Oh, I love that pick. I'm glad. Look, Tennessee and the heater that they're on against the spread and straight up is unsustainable. And usually it's within the division and all those crap teams they play. But they got away with one last Thursday. I was wrong, and I will not be wrong again. I'm rolling with you. I'm rolling with you.
It's time. It's time. And they've been my favorite team every week on this podcast, Guns. I am literally screaming from the hills that I love the Titans. It's time. T. Higgins is fully. T. Higgins went for 145 last week, and he didn't even break a sweat. I mean, this team right now is very healthy, and their defense is backing it up. I'm telling you, the Titans are going into a buzzsaw this week. The Titans by 1 million. So I gave you 3 plays, maybe 4 plays essentially.
So your play is the Titans?
So Titans. Oh no! Oh.
He slipped up.
You said Titans by 1 million. You said Titans by 1 million. Did I catch you one? It's now the question is,
Bengals by 1 million. And that's
all right. Yeah, make sure you get it right for the people. But I want to say this: I see that there is a queue. I have Jamar Chase in my fantasy league. Is he going to be?
I have to alert the studio audience. Mamba out.
And I was going to make a DadBods exclusive. God damn it, when he was there. I'm going to be on San Diego State tonight with him because San Diego State in a bounce back. That team is way too good. They have so much depth in the guard play. I watched them play against Arizona. Arizona is just really too strong. They're a real strong team. I thought there was a good situation on a close line to take them last night. My bad. Arizona's better than we thought they were, but San Diego State is not a bad team. They will bounce
a short
back.
line, right? So you don't have to deal with too many shenanigans late.
Correct. And I think this is a perfect spot to fade Arkansas and go against San Diego State. So I'll be on that one tonight. I'll post that on Twitter. But yeah, those are the picks. I should have some. I'll give some more free plays on college football, basketball. I want to look at the lines a little bit, get some late night action on that one. But Oddsfeld, thank you for joining. Appreciate it, brother. Also, Lock Bats, who had to leave because he has a Friendsgiving right now. So he's going to have 2 Thanksgivings back to back. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the plays because we fired a ton of them. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the thumbs up. Make sure you spread that around to everybody that knows the sharpest content on the goddamn planet. Also, the boys are going to be playing. J-Dub in the chat. We know him, G-Dog, from the Action Network, who's giving out all the good trends, 1 and 10 against the spread. Appreciate that, brother. Go Cowboys. He also has a good anytime touchdown, Gabe Davis touchdown tomorrow, which I do love. It seems like Gabe Davis has been a nice supplement too. It seems like Stephon Diggs is getting a lot of his looks taken away from because Gabe Davis. So I do like that play as well. So until everybody that's joined, everybody that's watching later on, happy Thanksgiving. And we'll see you. I'm going to do college football Friday night. We'll see what time. I'm trying to get something early so you guys have some plays for the Friday slate as well as the Saturday slate. But I'll make sure I post that on Twitter. So please check that out. And as always, that will do it for DadBodd's episode number 102. Till next time. I'm trying to find the closer. Oh, where'd it go?
We'll start singing Christmas carols.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Cheers, all.
Enjoy the slate. Let's catch some tickets. And as always, let's keep dancing.